Every SaaS is moving towards the same destination: software that runs itself, software where your users don't analyze data, they don't interpret charts, they don't figure out what to do next. They log in and the work is already figured out. All they have to do is click go. We call this prescriptive intelligence. It is a paradigm that we started observing across multiple verticals, across multiple SaaS companies. We formalized these in an architecture and now we are rolling it out to our clients. And I want to show you what this looks like. This is what every platform today looks like: dashboards, return rates, charts, top SKUs, top returned items. The merchant sees a 34% return rate and goes like, okay, now what? And on the right, here's the same platform with the prescriptive intelligence layer on top. Instead of the dashboard, the merchant sees a prescription card. Each one tells them what to do, the why, the projected revenue impact, the confidence, and a one-click action to execute it. This one says, update your sizing chart SKU, deploy a size guide for the pending orders. The estimated revenue impact of this is minus 12% returns. Here's a 94% confidence score, and 3 comparable merchants have already hit accept. This other one says something like, pause this ad set, the ROAS are below 1, and reallocate the budget to a lookalike campaign. This was 12 seconds for the first action. The merchant didn't have to open a spreadsheet. He didn't have to sit through a webinar to figure out what numbers actually mean. He didn't have to contact the customer support team. The platform told him what needed to be done. He was able to apply it with a single click. Now, here is what this does for your SaaS company. This reprices your entire product. You are no longer selling access to data or access to a dashboard. You are delivering executive level decisions that would typically require a strategist or a consultant on a retainer. The platform in this case becomes the strategist, and you can run the math yourself. If you have a couple of thousand merchants on your platform, even if third of them upgrade to an additional 300 a month prescription tier, you're looking at 200K in new monthly revenue from your existing customer base. That is with no new logos, with no new sales cycles. And the market values intelligence infrastructure completely differently than it values dashboard. You can see this with the amount of money that people are spending on Anthropic for Claude subscriptions. This isn't a incremental feature add, it changes how your entire company gets valued. And that's the shift from a commoditized SaaS tool to a strategic intelligence platform. And prescriptive intelligence is how you get there. Prescriptive intelligence is not an API, it's not a SaaS, it's not a library. It is a paradigm for building software. You don't have to pay a recurring fee, you don't have to buy an API. It is something that you own completely. It is code, models, IP. All of this sits on your infrastructure. Prescriptive intelligence is more of a design pattern for making any platform that is data rich, from just showing users what has happened to telling them what to do next, with evidence, with projected revenue impacts, and a mechanism to execute it with a single click. And it is built with our compostable components that plug directly into your infrastructure. We first saw this pattern emerge across multiple heavily funded SaaS companies in the e-com and retail space, and we pulled it out, we reverse engineered it down to its bare components, to its unit components, and we were able to build it back. Prescriptive intelligence is the bridge where the platform itself contains knowledge, the strategy, the domain expertise, and it automatically delivers the outcomes per user in real time. The old model of SaaS works like this. You build the platform, then you write a blog explaining how to use the platform, then you launch a webinar series, then you create an academy, then you train your customer success reps. Your team walks every merchant through how to make the most optimal use of your platform. All of this happens one support ticket to one user at a time. So you're selling the software and then giving the education, telling them how they can extract value from it. Your company knows more about the user's problem than the user does, but none of that knowledge right now lives inside the product. It lives in help docs, in playbooks, in the heads of customer support teams. And that doesn't scale. Your CS team is spending the 40% of their time doing the exact same walkthroughs. The next step is straightforward. Users will stop paying for software, they'll pay for the outcome. And this is not a prediction, this is already happening. The platform that figures this out keeps their customers. The ones that don't, they become commodities that get absorbed at an unfavorable multiple. Here is the anatomy of a typical SaaS platform. There are three layers. There is a database where all of the data lives, business logic layer, where the rules, the workflows that make the software function live, and the user interface, the dashboards, the screens, the experience. Prescriptive intelligence adds a fourth layer on top of all of these. This layer reads from the database, it understands the business logic, and instead of rendering just a dashboard to the user for him to interpret, it generates prescriptions or recommendations, specific ranked recommendations with projected impact, confidence sources, and one click execution. This plugs into what already exists. You don't need to rebuild anything, you don't need to rip apart your software. We recently rolled this out for a mid market platform in the review space into an existing product on top of existing infrastructure, and had the prescriptions live and generating merchant actions within about 8 weeks. This was done without a ground up rebuild. It was a layer on top of what they already had built up. And here is what makes it defensive. Every prescription that gets accepted creates a outcome data. That data is fed back into the system. The system improves, and the next round of prescriptions is more accurate. The platform that ships this first in a meaningful way will own the feedback loop. And the feedback loop is the moat, not the features, the loop, and the learnings from that iteration. And again, prescriptive intelligence is a paradigm, which means you can build this yourself. We have open sourced the blueprint on GitHub, the architecture, the spec, how to structure the prescriptions, how the scoring works, how the feedback loop compounds. It's there. You can fork it, use it, and you can build on top of it. But if you want this built in around 4 to 6 weeks, not months or not quarters, this is exactly what we do. We roll this out on client infrastructure. We understand your tribal knowledge. We wrap it up into an intelligence layer and we deploy it on your infrastructure. The code will be yours. The IP is yours. There are no recurring fees. There is no vendor lock-in. And we build it, we hand it off and move on. I'm Rohan Sawant. I run Ionio. We help retail and e-commerce SaaS platforms build AI capabilities alongside their internal team. If prescriptive intelligence sparks any idea, it sparks a conversation inside your company, I would love to be a part of that. I would love to be a bouncing board. If you would like help implementing this in your company, please book a call. We can only take on a handful of engagements like these at a time because we are a very small team. If this resonates, you can take a look at prescriptiveintelligence.ai. It has the full breakdown, a working demo, and a way to check if your platform is a fit. That's it. I'm Rohan Sawant. Nice to meet you. Thanks. Bye bye.